Hello and welcome again. We're back here on American Truck Simulator with my playthrough. Now if you remember last time, we just started off and we were in Bakersfield and we just did a really short journey here. It was only a few kilometers. We got paid like $300 or something like that and got about, I think it was halfway to level 2 or 1. So basically, since we're just starting out, we don't have our own truck. We only have $1,800 and we haven't received any emails or anything from the bank saying that we can take out loans or anything like that yet. So basically when you start out, you just go down here to your job market, and freight market will be available when you actually have your own truck. That's when you go and pick up your own deliveries and all that. But for now we have to take quick jobs where we use other people's trucks and take journeys. So the only place that we've discovered so far is Bakersfield, so that's the only place that's going to give us any jobs right now. Now, what I usually do is up here you can change your different filters for sorting and that kind of thing. Sometimes if you want more money you can take the price and filter it. That would take us down to San Diego and pay almost $3,000, so that's a good chunk of change. And the rate of pay isn't bad. You can see here it's underneath the price, it says $11.38 per mile. And I usually will go for the price per distance. Now you can see down here is this San Diego job that we've seen. It's 4th on the list, so it's not bad, but we have a job that pays a little bit less. It's not much less. It takes us up here to Stockton with a reservoir tank, and it pays $2,700, and it has a slightly better price per mile. So I think we're going to take this one here. It's in a Kenworth, the high-rise sleeper. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the look of the high-rise sleepers. The flat tops don't look bad, but myself, I like the day cabs more. So we're here and we have a reservoir tank, which actually looks really nice with the truck. And this is the white reservoir tank, the black truck. So let's get some lights on and start the truck up. Get her into gear and let's go. This is one thing about these trucks though that I'm not a huge fan of. Where it's not your own, you can't really choose what's in it for like an engine or a gearbox. So generally if you get a sleeper, it will have a 13-speed gearbox, and if you have a day cab, it'll have the 10 or 13-speed gearbox in it. And I really don't like the 18-speed gearbox because you have to shift so often. I gotta be careful here or else I'm gonna start to speed. Another thing I don't like about the Kenworth is on your digital display on your dashboard, it doesn't give you a speedometer. It will give you your cruise control, but it won't actually give you a speedometer. And the Peterbilt, as we seen in the last video, did have that. So I'm going to have to leave the little navigation thing up because the numbers are not easy to see on the dashboard, I'll put it that way. It's one of my few complaints about the game, is that seeing the numbers on the dashboard can be difficult at times. Now, I did add a couple more mods in. I found one of the mod authors that worked on Euro Truck 2, Jazzy Cat. Wasn't sure if he was going to be making mods for American Truck or not, but it looks like he is going to, because he has 2 mods out now. They'll be in my mod spreadsheet, which will be linked down in the description for you. One of them is a truck traffic pack, so as you see, or will see at some points, there are different kinds of trucks. There's not just the 2 default trucks that are driving around in traffic, like as you see over on the other side. There's a Volvo there, and There's a couple different American trucks there, and I added that one in. It's version 1, so there's not a whole lot of trucks in it yet, but there are some, and it makes the traffic feel more diverse. It's not just seeing the same 2 trucks over and over and over again. And the other mod that I have installed is also by JazzyCat. It's a AI traffic pack, which basically it adds in different AI cars and their actual real cars. So you'll see them a little while ago. You saw a Jeep go past, and there's a few different cars. It also makes the traffic feel more real, and I feel like it adds to the game. So now for other mods, I haven't added in any truck mods yet, because right now there's not really much point to add in a truck mod, because we don't have enough money and we don't have the ability to get a loan yet to buy a truck. And I'm gonna wait a little bit before I actually buy a truck. I'll probably wait till like level 5 or 6 or something like that, because that's when you unlock a lot of accessories, like you'll unlock a larger fuel tank and a new engine and transmission and different little things like that that I'm gonna want to add onto my truck. So for the first little while here, we're just going to be taking these quick jobs, and I might do 1 or so an episode, depending on what we find. If we find a short one that pays a decent amount, I might do 2 an episode, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet, because I'm not really sure how long the episodes are going to be right now. The last one was only a short job, and that was around 11 minutes, I think, so a longer job will have a longer episode, so. But yeah, going back to the truck mods, I've seen some truck mods that do look nice, but I don't know, I want to wait until they're more than just version 1, because there's still some bugs in them that need to be worked out, and some trucks I've found that only cost you, when you go to buy them, they only cost you like $50,000 or something like that, and that's not really something I want to get right away, because I mean, maybe later on I'll feature them, because I am definitely going to be using truck mods later on once we have a bigger company. But just starting out, I don't really want to go for the really cheap $50,000 truck or whatever, because it just doesn't feel right to me. If you're going to be starting a company, you don't go out and buy something really cheap like that, because it just feels wrong. Because I mean, the base trucks in the game cost you around $120,000, $130,000, ballpark around that. So going out and buying a $50,000 truck, well, that's less than half the price of what you're supposed to buy a truck for, what SCS is intending you to buy a truck for. And it would just take some of the difficulty away, because I mean, by the time you reach level 5 or whatever and you want to buy a truck, you have, generally, I've found that you have around $30,000 or so. So I mean, you take out a $50,000 loan and you buy your truck, throw your accessories on, you still have quite a bit of money left over. I'm not really going to do that. I'll probably wait until I have around $30,000 at level 5 and get a $100,000 loan and just buy probably a Peterbilt, I'd say, because like I said, I like having the speedo on the digital speedo on the dashboard there, because it means I don't have to have this road advisor up on the right hand side here. Because I feel the road advisor, it's nice because you can do all sorts of different things. You can see your current job and all that stuff. You can see if you are damaged and stuff. You can have different map views. But there's a built-in GPS in the Kenworth and the Peterbilt. And with the Peterbilt having the digital display for the speedo, you don't need the road advisor on, because I just leave the road advisor on so I know what speed I'm going, so I know if I'm speeding or not. So I mean, if I get rid of that and just have use the GPS that's built in, and I have the digital speedo, I find it's more immersive, because you don't have this random screen just sitting there staring at you that you wouldn't have in real life. And to me, a simulator, you can goof around in simulators if you want, and that's all good and fine as long as you're not trying to take that profile seriously. Like, I'm not just gonna go and speed everywheres and crash into things and run red lights because I'm trying to take my profile seriously as I would in real life. I'm simulating it. And that's, simulators to me, you should just be immersed in them as much as possible. I mean, there are a few things you can do, like you have a third-person camera and stuff that isn't really realistic, not really all that immersive, but that's why I don't drive in it. I only use it for reversing, because I'm honestly not that great at reversing yet. I'm still getting used to these trucks because they have a longer wheelbase and their turning circle is a little bit different than the trucks were on Euro Truck. So I'm just getting used to that too. So I'll be using the third-person camera like I said. And another thing I wanted to talk about before this episode is over, because we are getting close, we're only 9 miles away, was that some of these episodes I may do commentary in. I'm not 100% sure. So far I have been doing commentary because I'm just talking. Oh, we have 40 speed limit here. 35. Yeah. I might do commentary in all of the episodes. I might not. I don't know. If I have something to talk about, I definitely will. But, geez, these speed limits are changing without any notice. Anyways, yeah, back to the commentary. I might do commentary. There might be some videos where I just don't really have a lot to say. I may start off talking in the video, and I might start by introducing what we're going to be doing in that video and that sort of thing, and then I might not talk throughout the journey or something like that, because I mean, if there's something, a new update comes out or a new mod comes out that I'm using, I might talk about that. But I don't know, I find that American Truck is one of those games that you can watch and just not have anybody talking, and it will be relaxing, and if there's commentary it's still fine, but it's one of the games that you don't really need commentary, and sometimes it is hard to have commentary in it, if you know what I mean. This guy's not going to let us over, is he? Squeeze our way in. But there's not really a lot to commentate, because I mean, honestly, you're just driving from point A to point B. But, like I said, if the new update comes out, I'll talk about the update. I am speeding horribly. Yeah, if a new update comes out or whatever, or a mod comes out that I'm going to feature or whatever, or we have some big decision to make in the company, I'll be talking through that, like when we buy our truck, or if we upgrade our truck, or whatever, that kind of thing, or when we start to hire drivers, and those kinds of things. I'll definitely be commentating through that. Now, these lights are horrible, and I really wish that SCS would do something. I know where I live here in Canada, we have at our intersections, we'll have a third light down on the bottom of the traffic lights, and it's a flashing arrow. So basically, before the lights turn green, that arrow will flash green, and will let people turn left before people start going straight through the intersection. That way you don't get these backups in the left-hand turn lanes, because these can be really annoying, especially in the busier cities and stuff, because you basically will get one vehicle through per light change. So like now, there is a car in front of this van in front of us, that will go now when it turns yellow, and then we'll have to wait, and then when it turns green again, this van will go. Then we'll have to wait until it turns green again before we'll be able to go. It's sort of annoying because it takes so long to get through, but I don't know, I've never actually myself been to California, so I don't know what their light systems are like. So I mean, if this could be realistic, it could just be that SCS didn't put a left-hand turn light in. Maybe they didn't know about them or whatever. I don't know. it'd be really nice to see it implemented, but I have my doubts that it actually will be. I mean, you can see over there on the other side of the road how far back they're lined up. And I mean, it's only going to get one vehicle out every time these lights turn. And I just saw that light turn, so I'm going to sneak out here. I'm just going to sneak my way through here because I don't really want to wait much longer. So hopefully making this delivery will get a good chunk of XP. As long as I can actually park the trailer, I should get, I think it's 90 XP you get from the skill park, and we are only like maybe 100 XP points away or something like that from leveling up, so I would assume we haven't taken any damage or anything, we're not late, so I would assume that we're gonna get a level up here once we deliver this. And then we get to choose our first skill point. I've been throwing around ideas in my head of what I'm gonna take as my first skill point. And I think it's either gonna be fragile cargo or just-in-time delivery or high value. I might take high value or just-in-time, yeah. Because they give you some nice bonuses when you do those types of deliveries. Now, they want this parked over there. I think I've done a delivery point like this before in one of my other profiles. If I'm correct, there's not much room down that side, which means I'm gonna have to scoot over here. Which again, there's not much room, and I didn't take that corner well at all. That up. There we go. Let's see if I can get this trailer straightened out. That's the important thing when you're backing up. You really want to have the trailer straight with the truck. It just makes it so much easier to when you're reversing, and you want to make sure you try and use as much space as you can, because it really just will make your life so much easier when you're backing up. The more room you have to maneuver, the better. Back up, I just be careful I don't clip this wall on the inside. Just slowly turn the trailer here. I know it's not really immersive, but I might turn off the backup beeper because it is extremely loud and there is no option just to turn the volume for it back down. So I may end up turning that down, I'm not sure. Depends on how loud it actually comes out in the video. Probably won't. That's okay. I'm going to pull ahead a little bit. I guess I'm not. Oh, well, I'm glad this isn't my truck. Pull is in a really awkward spot. Let's try this again. This pull is going to be a pain. That's it. Ahead with quite a bit. Turning a little bit. Key is to not oversteer the trailer. Going, start turning it into the parking spot a little bit there, strip it off, get it in there a little bit more. Wear it off. disconnect. Company collector, 2 out of 15. And we got quite a chunk of XP, 270, $2,700. That's the base price that it gave us because we didn't have any proficiencies. We weren't level 1 yet, so we didn't get any proficiencies for being a level, and we don't have any skills yet, so we didn't get any bonuses in the money department. But for parking the trailer, even though I didn't do a really great job at it, I had to take 2 tries at it, but got 90 XP, which, I mean, that's quite a chunk. That's half of the base XP we would have gotten. So, I mean, parking the trailer and the skilled parking, if you can do it, is really worth it here in the lower levels. Because, I mean, we got quite a chunk of XP. We leveled up and almost got halfway leveling up again, so that's quite profitable to go for the bonus parking. Now that we leveled up, we get to choose what we're going to do. Long distance I'm not going to do yet because the map isn't huge. So, I mean, you up to rank 3, honestly, is about as far up as you're going to want to go. And I don't really want to go for long distance yet because we don't have our own truck, so I'd rather keep our journeys a little shorter until we get our own truck. Fuel economy, the fuel rates are so cheap in the US compared to what they were in Euro Truck that it's not really worth it either, because, I mean, you have a 150 gallon or 200 gallon tank. It's only going to take you about $350 or so to actually fill your tank. So, I mean, you save 10%, you're saving, what, $30, $35? So, I mean, it's not that profitable, whereas you could go here to your high value cargo and you get a 18% experience bonus and a 5% higher reward. So you have a $1,000 job, you take 5% of that. It's more profitable, especially once you start getting more higher paying jobs and you keep ranking this up. Because, I mean, rank 5 you get a 25% higher reward. So, I mean, it's definitely worth it once you start leveling it up. Now, we could go for the high value cargo, which will give us 18% experience and 5% higher reward. Fragile cargo is a 5% higher reward and a 22% bonus in experience. And just in time is 20% bonus in experience and a 3% higher reward. So, looking at the numbers, I think the fragile cargo is the way to go, because you get a 5% bonus, which high value gives you also. Just in time only gives you 3%. And you get a 22% bonus experience. Just in time gives you 20%, and high value gives you 18%. So I'm going to go with the fragile cargo. This should also unlock some different types of cargo for us. So I'm just going to take a quick peek at the job market here and see what we have. So we left off in Stockton, so I'm going to basically do it so that we went from Bakersfield to Stockton. So I'm going to take a job out of Stockton and go somewhere. That's the way I'm going to try to do it. Wherever I dropped off, that's where I'm going to take a job from. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if you're doing a job for somebody and you go and drop off their cargo or whatever, and you're just a trucker for hire, you're going to drop off their cargo and then you're going to go to a motel or whatever and sleep or whatever, and then take another job out of that area. You're not going to just travel around the state to find a job. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take a quick peek here. I don't really fancy that. It is a good paying job, but the thing is, it takes us back down the way we just came. And we have another one going to Bakersfield, basically the same area. This one here isn't bad. I mean, we've already taken tires, but it's a different route. It'll take us down. If we reroute, we could probably go into Santa Cruz, and then that'll take us down and discover Oxnard. And it pays almost $3,000. So that's probably the one I'm going to take. I'm not going to take it yet because I'll do that in the next episode. So, until next time, goodbye.